And I look up and I'm trying to talk, but I can't. And I see a demon in the car in front of us. It's kind of almost like what you would see in a movie, like a dark veil, but it wasn't a veil, like a hood. His face was black, his lips were white, and his teeth were just, I don't know how to describe them, ghoulish. My first husband and I had just had my daughter, and we went to go visit his grandmother in Wichita Falls, and we lived in McKinney, Texas. So we were just visiting her, and she's a beautiful person, but we decided we wouldn't spend the night. So we were coming back, and he was driving, and my daughter was in the back seat. She was like 1. And in Texas, they have 2-lane highways, and this was a 2-lane highway. So it was dusk. It wasn't yet dark. And we were just having a normal conversation about things that were going on with his grandmother. And I see a car coming head on. So we're going, at this point in Texas, you can go 65 probably. And I see it coming head on. I can't speak. I'm trying to get the words out, like turn, move. What are you thinking? What are you doing? You know, everything's flashing in my head because the baby's in the back. Nothing. He didn't. Just kept driving like nothing ever happened. I know this sounds unbelievable, but it's so true. I wanted to say, scream at him, but instead I just chose to curse, but it still didn't come out. And I put my foot up to brace myself and put my hand back to brace someone that I knew wasn't going to be able to make it through this, or myself.
Okay, wait, what were you seeing? You put your foot up because why?
We're having a head-on collision with a car that neither party has chosen to, that's a good question. Neither party had chosen to veer off, slam on the brakes, nothing. They had swerved into or come over into our lane when I saw them, and we were full on, head on, and my previous husband did not look at me, did not make a move, nothing, just drove. We hadn't had a drink. We had been in his grandmother's house. I have children in the car, or a child in the car. Nothing. There's nothing other than this was a spiritual event that I will never forget. So the last thing I remember was I was going to say a curse word because I knew we were going to die.
Reflexes.
We were going to die. All of a sudden, there wasn't a jerk. There wasn't brakes. There weren't any movement by either car. It was a freeze frame. And we were literally, I'm going to say, not even a person apart. So let's say 10 feet apart. Just, here's their car, here's us. Then the freeze frame occurs just to show me that this isn't normal. And it clicks, and I'm just looking. And it clicks until we're touching almost. We never had any movement. And so I thought, I'm in heaven. And I was like, am I in heaven? Okay, everything's good. At least I'm in heaven. Because I didn't see fire or demonic things. And I look up, and I'm trying to talk, but I can't. And I see a demon in the car in front of us.
Is the demon driving the car?
Mm-hmm. He has, it's kind of almost like what you would see in a movie, like a dark veil, but it wasn't a veil, like a hood. His face was black. His lips were white, and his teeth were just, I don't know how to describe them, ghoulish. And when I saw him, then I was like, am I in hell? I couldn't be in hell because prior to all of this, I'll pause for a second. I had been praying to God to show me that he was real because I grew up as a Christian my whole entire life. I love Jesus so much. The church that I had great grandparents, parents, wonderful family. Although the church that I went to, I didn't know if we should switch churches or not. And I really was starting to think at this point in my life that religion wasn't it. There was more to this. And I had a great church.
Yeah, let me ask you that real quick. Mm-hmm. Were you a true believer in Jesus Christ at the time?
Yes.
Okay.
Ever since I could remember, I loved him so much. And I knew he was real. But I wanted him to be real. I wanted to see him. I wanted to feel him. I wanted all those things that other people were saying. Some I now know are false teachers. Some I do believe were telling the truth. But I want to know for myself. And I also don't want to make a mistake. There's nothing more important than, getting it right with God. So
you see the demon.
When I see the demon.
Is it driving the vehicle?
Yes. Okay. And there's no one else in the vehicle besides the demon. And so it even ran through my mind, this is Halloween, this is a joke. I mean, you know how everything runs through your mind? And I said, no, we were having a head-on. All this was going through. And then there's no jerking, no skidding. And so that's when I kept thinking I'm in heaven or hell or I'm in an afterlife somewhere. So and then God knows I'm thinking this, I'm sure. So he's like, okay, sister, let me just give you another little surprise. So we're like this. I don't even look at my previous husband because I'm in awe. But I'm not scared. I'm just thinking what's going to happen next and where am I? So we're like this, pretty much touching. The car slides, which is impossible. And then it starts slowly going like this. And the whole time he's the demon. And I'm looking at him because I'm like, what? I wasn't scared, but I was like, what are you going to do? Where am I going to go? Obviously, something is happening. And I want to know what's going to happen. So I'm looking in his eyes and in his face. And he's just like a spirit in the car moving. And then the car goes away. And I don't even look like this. I just turned to my then husband and finally I could talk. And I said, why didn't you move? Why didn't you turn? That was my first thing was like, are you trying to kill us? Like, what is going on? And then I expected that we would talk. And he's just like in a trance. And he's holding the wheel. And then he just starts driving. And he goes, what happened? I said, what do you mean what happened? I go, I don't know what happened, but I want to know. Why didn't you turn the car? Why didn't you swerve? Why didn't you do something? Because I was like, are you trying to kill us? What happened? And I knew he wasn't. And he goes, Cherie, I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't know what happened. Now think about this, Carrie Ann. There's people back behind us, I'm sure. There's people on the street.
Yeah,
why
were there
didn't
other
anyone
cars?
hit us? There's only a 2-lane highway. Not only that, there was a demon in that car, and now I know. When the whole story has played out, now I know several things. God was saying, I am real. This world is real. People are after your family, and you need to be awake. But I didn't know that at that time. I just thought, I'm asking you, are you real? I was reading all things about Revelation and times. I want to know. I am part of your story, God. You created me, but I want to experience you. So he showed me that part, but there was also another message, which was he was after our family and always has been. This demon and many demons, later on I learned different
Can you
things.
take me back to when, right after you saw the car coming and then you saw the demon make its way into your vehicle?
No. He was in, or it. I'll say he, but he stayed. Remember, his car went like this. And then while he's going, he's in the car like a spirit in his car.
Oh, in his car. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm
Or,
sorry. I thought you said he came into your vehicle.
No, that probably would have made me lose it because I had a child in the car.
So you saw him. What was he doing?
Just moving like you, slithering, I would say. Now looking back on it, like right when I just said that, snake-like characteristics, like now I know demons are, or the devil can masquerade as that. Or I believe it was one of his minions or, demons that he put on our family. I think we were searching so hard and love God so much. I think and I want to cry, but to this day, he still works on us. So we have to be so aware. I want people to know that it's real. There are demons, and I've seen angels too as well. We'll talk about that in another time that occurred to me.
Let's talk about it today.
Well, I meant at another time I saw angels too as well. These were demons, and that's what you're like, why? Why didn't I see angels? There was clearly an angel in front of the car. Why didn't I see that angel? I still don't know the answer to that, except for the fact had I have been more knowledgeable as I am today, I would have said, God is showing me there's demons after my family. But instead, I took it as in, you're answering my prayer. You're showing me that.
Did you ask God anything before that? Like before this happened, you know how like we go through seasons where we're really trying to learn X or Y or Z or whatever, and we're searching for something. And I feel like when we go through those seasons and all of a sudden, boop, it kind of pops up. God knows what you were thinking. He knows what what's in your heart. Mm-hmm. And then you get it. Were you in a season where you were like questioning his existence, questioning demons, understanding warfare, any of that?
Understanding the warfare, and I wanted him to make himself real to me. And I wanted to, if he wanted to present himself and say something to me, I said, do. If you want to tell me where I'm supposed to go, especially in this season, you know how there'll be different religions. I never felt like I was way out there at all. It was just in these small Christian religions. Where am I supposed to be? Where's truth, God? So
let me ask you something. Did your ex-husband at the time, was he in the same space you were with your faith?
He was. Appeared to be. There were demons and portals that were opened in our home that I was unaware of. I will take responsibility. None of us are perfect, and I was far from it. I also, looking back on it, anytime that you sin, you are opening up a door to invite demons into or demonic activity into your life anytime you sin. So he was probably the band leader in trying to get us to look at other churches.
Your ex-husband was.
And so I was like, I don't know. I don't want to do anything wrong. So, but he was, we were listening to different preachers on, we're in Dallas, so there's plenty of amazing pastors, false teachers too as well. And I think I just wanted to do what was right and not disappoint God or my family or anyone. So we were both going down that journey. So yes, he was. He was also opening up some major portals that affected our marriage long term. That I was unaware of. So that's why I believe that particular thing is like, I'm coming to rob your family. And, Ephesians 6:12, you know this well, but the words are so powerful when you really think about it. It says, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities. We're talking about rulers and authorities, against the cosmic powers. This is the ESV version. Over this present darkness. And if you look up that word darkness, it means blindness, like the world can't see like we see. I think he was like, I'm showing you. Against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. This is what we're wrestling against. Demons are on assignment from Satan to hinder and attack us. And if we're not careful and protecting ourselves and guarding ourselves and aware that it's going on, a lot of times we can just say, I have a bad marriage, or, I'm depressed, or, we have to recognize it as what it is. There's evil and there's good. And the things that are coming against us, God does not want that. He wants us to live and walk in freedom. And we have to I think it's so important if we know. I always say knowledge is power, but now I've changed it to wisdom. We can have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, that's true. Wisdom's
From
different.
him,
Yeah.
and is all knowing and all wise. Let him download what we need. But if we don't know, and whose problem is that? I think that's all of our problems today. And the verse in Hosea 4:6, it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And I'm like, that is us today. You know, we have a lot of knowledge about a lot of things, but do we have biblical knowledge and wisdom? And he said, be sober-minded. Peter did. Be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. That's what happened to me that day. He was coming after my family. He still did the whole entire time. It never stopped.
But here's what I don't understand about your story. I mean, you were really young. I mean, you were a new mom. Your baby was a year old. You experienced this. Nobody else experienced that in the car, right? Because it was just the three of you.
Correct. He knew something happened. He knew the car stopped. He knew he had to start the car back up on a highway and not start it up physically, but press the gas. So he did know something happened. Again, looking back on it, I don't think God gave him the spiritual eyes. Was he truly seeking, or when you're in a habitual sin that's harming everyone? I don't know. I'm not God, but he did know something happened. I'll leave it at that. I wish him well and good blessings. So I don't want to talk about his character.
No, that's okay. You don't have to. Right after it happened, like, would you say now that it was probably 2 seconds, this whole event?
No. Like when I saw the head on, it'd be just like a normal head on. So that's 2 seconds. The event of no stopping, no jerking, just freeze framing, that's probably another each click, you're looking at 10 seconds. And then him, moving like that. So the whole thing probably 30 seconds. I would think.
Okay.
If it's in my realm. But there's people driving everywhere. I know it. We were, how in Texas, you pass and all of that's going on around us. So this is why I know that it was a miracle and there were angels there or someone, God.
Okay, now let me challenge you with something, because as you're talking, I'm wondering this.
Go ahead. I can only be honest.
You know, the Bible says that God gives us visions and dreams. Do you think it was a vision?
No.
Tell me why.
Okay, because of the reaction of my previous husband. We wouldn't both have the same vision unless God gave it to us.
Oh, wait. So he didn't know what happened, or he did know what happened?
He didn't see the demon. He knew that we were going on a head-on. He didn't remember why he couldn't turn.
Okay.
He just says he blinked out. So you'd be like, oh, okay, well, you had a diabetic reaction. We crashed then, or we slam on brakes, or none of that occurred.
Right, okay, I
Everything
understand.
else was supernatural.
Whoa.
He literally could not, he thought, like, what happened then? And he let me explain it. He never once said, you're crazy. He never once said that didn't happen. I think he was in shock and, what happened to him. And we even told his parents, because we had seen them at the grandmother's house. And of course, they looked at me like I was crazy, but it happened. And I know it did. And no one can tell me any different. So he did experience something. He's driving. He saw the head-on coming. He doesn't stop. He doesn't swerve. He says he can't. And then he doesn't remember anything else besides, quote unquote, waking up, meaning he's awake. I saw his eyes. But he said waking up and then starting to drive and hearing my story.
So what did you immediately feel after that event itself? Were you just like processing like what in the heck just happened? Or
I was thankful that my daughter was okay and that I didn't even care so much as us. I wanted to know why he did what he did. And then
who is he did?
My previous husband.
You want to know what he did?
Why did you not swerve? It's natural.
Yeah,
It's natural to slam on your brakes. why would you not do that? But he had no answers because it was almost like he wasn't there. Although he knew we were having a head on, and he goes, I couldn't. And I understood that because I couldn't speak. I couldn't say.
You were paralyzed.
Right. I couldn't say, but it was supernatural again. I can talk at any point in time, but I could not speak. I couldn't say, like stop, move, turn. And so I wanted to know about him. I was glad we were okay. But then I was like, I want to get home and finish my book about Revelation and the end times and see what else. And I'm going to keep asking him to show himself, to me.
That's what you were thinking about?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what else could I be thinking about? It happens.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're alive. I can't believe it didn't happen.
Yeah, but I was like, I believe my God. I was like, he did it. I don't know how he did it. And then I guess I was ecstatic that he sent someone to save us. He saved us. And then, okay, we're on assignment for something. I guess I was just always really knowing that we were connected to him and he had good things for us. So the demon part was concerning, but now I know.
When you were in the presence of that demonic, did you sense it? Did you know?
I heard, now that you say that, that's so weird because I heard him go, shh. The sound was swooshy, but he's in his car. I keep saying it just didn't look like a female.
What kind of vehicle was it?
I don't know, except for it was dark, but I want to say gray. I don't know anything because even coming at us, it was dusk and it was so fast. You know, you're just talking, whatever. And then I'm like, but if I can see it, your automatic instinct is
yeah.
Like
but what I'm saying is like, it wasn't a semi.
No,
it wasn't like
a car.
It was a car.
I'm going to say a car. We were in an SUV. We were in a rodeo. Remember those? Like a rodeo SUV. I forget what. It was black. Ours was. But so his was a car, so he was further down. But I saw him because he had his eyes on me.
He was looking at you.
Yes, the whole time. He did not look at my previous husband. I keep saying that. I don't want to say his name. But he didn't look. He was right at me. Head on when we were going click, 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 right at me. Evil intentions for me. I knew that. Looking back on it, none of this surprises me.
So this was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Since that event till now, were there any other moments in your life where you experienced intense spiritual moments that really confirmed the first one, which was this?
There are angels. There are demons. I've never seen them anymore. I'll be honest with you. If I asked, I think he would show me again. I don't need to. And quite honestly, I don't want to. I have asked him different things and he'll show me in a dream and literally it'll be confirmed the next day. Prefer not to talk about that right now, but things that I would struggle with.
Sure.
And it would be confirmed. And I would be like, that dream is crazy. There's no way that could happen. Yes, Cherie, that is true. With betrayal or, anything again, he tries to show me. It's not what it seems in the earthly realm. In the spiritual realm, it's different. And in reality. And I think he does try to show me. So I have to be really careful. They always say, watch out what you ask for. God, I want the truth.
Tell me why you feel emotional talking about it.
The loss of what you thought you had. It could be a friend. I'm just going to say could be. It could be a friendship.
Sure.
It could be a family member you trusted. It could be the life that it looked like you had. He always gives better if he takes something away because he's God. He's a giver of all good gifts. So I'm no longer fearful of that. I don't like finding out the truth all the time, but I have come to find out he does want us to know. And walk in the Spirit. He doesn't want us to walk carnally because we can't see the things he sees. And I guess that's the big takeaway of the continual, any experience that you have when you ask him and he shows you, he wants you to see the spiritual side of it. He wants, if it's time for him to reveal it to you. And a lot of times that means reality change, a reality check.
So you had these two powerful experiences. My question to you is, why do you think, not what God's word says, but just you, Cherie, why do you think you see these things and other people don't? Because I would love to see it. I have more dreams. But why do you think you get this? Why did God give this to you?
I don't think, I think because I asked.
What'd you ask him?
And he says, you have not because you ask not.
Right.
And so a lot of times I'll ask for exactly what I've learned now to pray, though. God, this is what I want. You're all knowing, all seeing.
Yeah.
You are God. I'm not. This is what I want. Please, allow that to happen or give me something better. And I meant not monetarily, something better because it came from you.
If somebody tunes into this, again, I firmly believe that there is a very strong spirit realm. The Bible tells us, I mean, you even read it, we don't fight against flesh and blood. But if there was someone out there that's listening to this that's a non-believer, can you put yourself in their shoes hearing that? Like, how do you speak to that piece? Like, oh, they were doing drugs. Yeah, she probably was doing drugs. Like, we go there, right? Again, I feel like God speaks to me in my dreams. I get very vivid dreams, and now I know the difference when they're, it's not like I went to Costco and forgot ketchup. It's not that kind of a dream. It's like I wake up and it sticks with me, and there's all this symbolism, and there's all these things for me to unpack. That's not this. Like, you're physically seeing with your own eyes.
Because I asked him and he showed me. But what would I say to a non-believer? Well, first of all, and I say this all the time because I volunteer at a, I won't mention that name either because it is for women that have had difficult situations. But I always say to them, don't you want to know the God of the universe? Like the creator of everything that's all knowing and all wise. And we're all worshiping something. All of us are. When you're like, well, what would they say? Well, there's Hollywood or different people, politicians worshiping demons.
Or even our own phones can be idols.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
And if we're going to worship something, why not? Well, not only that, he deserves, our creator, that. So I would say ask him. Whoever that person is out there that doesn't know him, I would just ask him because he will answer that prayer. He promised. I'll show you. A lot of people see it too and make a different choice, and that's between them and God. No, but he'll answer it.
I 100% agree with you. That's how I became a believer. Was I just said, if you're for real, I need you to show me.
You said that.
And he did.
He did. He will. Think about it.
Yeah.
Anyone out there is a mom, an aunt, if their child that they love so much, even if their own mom or dad walked up, I need you to tell me, is this true? You would tell them. And God loves us so much more than we ever love our own children. So that's the thing about God. He's the same today, yesterday, and always. He's 100% right, faithful, good. 100%. There's no bad in him.
If you enjoyed this episode of Gritty Glory, I'd be grateful for you to subscribe, like, and share so we can get this out to as many people who need to hear it.